So when most people think about vampires, the first thing that I bet comes to mind is this.
I want to suck your blood.
But what if I told you that there is another type of vampire that isn't like the ones in the movies? One that instead of sucking blood, sucks away your very energy and vitality. We call them energy vampires, and yes, they are real. And I'm about to tell you a tale about the time I encountered one in real life. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's Tanner here, and I'm about to share another tale with you. Today, my story is about the time that I encountered an energy vampire in the real world. So, to start off this story, there's a couple things I have to say for context, okay? The first thing was, this happened at a place that I worked about 9 years ago. I worked at a big and tall men's clothing store, which is kind of ironic because I am short and stout. But I actually worked at a big and tall retail store. It's a pretty well-known chain across America. And my position was called a wardrobe consultant, which is basically just like the general term for the retail personnel. We did all the stuff that retail employees did, like restock shelves, greet customers, cash register stuff. But on top of that, we also helped the customer find stuff, and we were to kind of like, serve them as they went about their shopping experience. And that's important because as a wardrobe consultant, we made a base rate plus commission. So the way that worked out was there were multiple people on staff at once. Normally there were 2 or 3 of us on the clock at the same time. And because we make commission, we had to rotate who helped which customer. So there's a rotation system, okay? And the standard practice would be we would help our customer throughout their shopping experience. We would help them check out, and then we'd come around the counter, hand them their bag with their merchandise, and shake their hands. That was the standard procedure at this big and tall clothing store. So that's important, okay? Keep all that in mind. The next thing was that I was kind of going through like what I call a spiritual awakening. I had an encounter with something I didn't quite know how to express or explain, and that's a story for another day, so I will definitely share that if you guys want to hear more about it. But because of that, I was more sensitive to the supernatural and paranormal and just weird phenomena that was going on around me. So, in that time, there was also somebody working at this clothing store with me. His name, for anonymous reasons, we'll call him James. He was a friend, but he is also very open to the supernatural and paranormal, and he was kind of helping me navigate this uncharted territory. So, that's going to be very big as we get into the story. So those are the 2 things that I had to go over for context. So we'll get into the story now. So, this day happened in either, I can't remember if it was May, the end of May, or beginning of June. I know it was towards the end of my time at this retail store, as I was trying to get into a better job at the time. And during my time, I really did enjoy it. Helping customers is a passion of mine. Customer service in general is a passion of mine. I like helping people. So customer service jobs are fantastic. So this was a day in either late spring or early summer. I get to work, and it is me, James, and there's another person in the store. We'll call her Sarah. And the 3 of us are there. And of course, the day starts off normal. Okay, there were 2 shifts. I was the morning shift, which was like from the time the mall opened, because this store was part of a mall, which is no longer in existence. But I would clock in around like 9 or 10 a.m. in the morning, and then I would be there till 4 or 5 in the afternoon, depending on the timing. So today it was me, James, and Sarah. And the morning started off fine. We were rotating through customers, we were restocking the shelves. Me and James were talking, as him and I often did in this time period. And at this point in the day, it was starting to get close to lunch. It was probably around 11 o'clock. James had just finished helping a customer, which then meant the next one was mine. And that's when this gentleman walks in. This gentleman was very tall, probably about 6 feet plus. I can't remember exactly how tall he was. He was an older gentleman, probably in his 50s, not quite 60s. But what struck me odd about him right away was he had a very young girl wrapped around his arm. And it wasn't like platonically. It was in a weird, romantic way. So at first glance, something was kind of already registering in me that this doesn't feel right. But because it was my customer, it was my turn to step up and greet him and her and help them with their shopping experience. So I remember, I walk up to him and I say, "Hello, sir, how you doing? How can I help you?" And this is where it starts. This is one of the weirdest experiences, and when I talk about it, I get chills because this has never happened to me before. But when I ask him that, and I walk up to see how I can help him, he looks me dead in the eyes. And he says,
Ho ho ho! I thought I had the prettiest blue eyes.
and right after he said it, it was like that. My energy was sapped. And I had absolutely no energy left. It hit me like that. It was very right on the spot. As soon as he looked in my eyes and said those words, my energy was gone. And I just kind of was like, thanks, you know. James, being in tune with like the spirit and weird paranormal stuff going on, he is automatically onto this. He is watching me as I interact with this guy, and he came in to buy pants, okay? So I'm kind of slowly going around the store with him, trying to show him to the brand of pants that he came in for. He had like a flyer, and this guy is just being very loud about it, and, you know, kind of jovial and highly energetic about it. Until we get to the pants, I pull out the pair of pants for him in the size that he requested. And he like looks at the price. And back then, normal retail prices, everybody expected it. I know the big and tall clothing store, the prices were a little bit more expensive than general clothing stores, but the clothes fit the people much better than they would get at like a normal clothing store. So this guy takes one look at the price and he starts to become belligerent. That's when James kind of steps in. He kind of pulls me aside. He says, "Hey, go behind the counter and just stay there, okay? I'll take care of this." So this guy is starting to raise his voice and be like,
These prices are outrageous. How am I supposed to buy a pair of pants? Surely, you must give me a discount. I have never been treated so poorly in my entire life.
he was going on and on about this discount. And James is very firm on it. He's like, "I'm sorry, sir, this is store policies. You know, we don't have any sales going on for these. We don't have any coupons right now. There's nothing I can do to lower the price." And then he's like,
Give me the discount.
He's like, "Well, if that's the case, sir, then you can go to another store," because James doesn't put up with customer BS. And this whole time that he's going back and forth with the customer, I'm just behind the register, just kind of like trying to regain my energy. I am still zapped. I cannot regain energy. I did not feel like myself, and it was terrible. And so eventually this guy's just like, "Well, fine, whatever, I'll buy the pants." And he comes over and he puts the pants on the register. And then the next thing that he says is very weird.
Do you want to know how I got such a lovely 19-year-old girlfriend?
And when he said that, I really got creeped out, because I don't know how that 19-year-old woman was putting up with a guy who was clearly either in his late 40s, early 50s. It was just really creepy. Very, very weird situation, okay? And he walks off to do something again while the pants are on the counter. The woman's just kind of there. And James comes up to me. He's like, "Tanner, whatever you do, if he buys the pants, do not shake his hand. Do not do that. Whatever you do, do not do that." And almost as soon as he had said that, and he was standing very close. James was standing very close to me, kind of with a protective aura, and it was very, very helpful. This guy comes back from wherever he was, and again, he tries to get the discount. But when I'm just like standing there like, and James is like, I'm sorry, sir, we can't do that. He finally just agrees to buy the pants. And, you know, he's been making weird statements this entire time. Something just fell off. I ring up the pants. He's talking to me this entire time. He's kind of like leaning over the counter as he's talking to me. It's very weird. It's kind of like he's trying to single me out. Even when he was dealing with James with like the whole being belligerent, it was almost like he was still kind of like looking at me, and like, you know, kind of like there's like a precision to it. I can't quite describe it other than it felt like I was being targeted by whatever was, either whether he was doing this intentionally or something on him was doing this. But it felt like it was very targeted. Like he knew what he was doing and he was trying to get to me for whatever reason. So I finally finished ringing him up, and I just kind of hand the bag over, like push it over. I'm not even trying to hand it over the counter. I just kind of push it towards him. This guy reaches around the counter, grabs my hand, and is just like, thanks. And then him and this 19-year-old girl walk out the door like nothing happened.
It is time for an intermission. I want you to go over to www.tenorstalesentertainment.com and buy some merchandise.
That's right, everybody. If you are enjoying my videos, there is more than just one way to support me. If you want to support me beyond just liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel, you can go on to www.tenorstalesentertainment.com and pick up some cool merch. We got some t-shirts, we got some hats, we got my comic books and my children's book. Pretty much any type of merch you can want to support me is on there. So go check it out, go get some merch, and I appreciate everything.
Now back to the video.
Meanwhile, James comes up to me and he's like, Tanner, go to the bathroom right now and wash your hand. And because I'm into the whole spiritual stuff at this time, I go to the bathroom and I wash my hand, and I would call it, I was praying over myself, because, you know, that was weird. I felt like something targeted me. It felt kind of like an attack. It sapped my energy. So as I go in there and as I'm washing my hand, it is burning. My hand is burning. And it was super strange. But I come out of the bathroom and my energy is still sapped, and James is like, that was weird. He's like, whatever that was targeting you. And my energy was gone for the rest of that day. He's like, you should go to lunch, go eat something, get your energy back. Because he knew that I was zapped. My energy was gone. He knew it. He could see it. He could feel it. So I do. I go and I grab a bite to eat from the mall cafeteria area. And my energy doesn't return until later that evening. Like normally my energy would come back much sooner. But my energy did not come back until well into the evening, probably close to the time I left. And I thought that would be the end of it, okay? The guy did never come, he never did come back. It was a one-off encounter with that guy. But then there's a second part to this story. And that takes place in the days after that weird visit. So my hand didn't burn anymore that day. Nothing else really happened. I went home and everything seemed to return to normal. But when I came back to work in the following days, it felt like something was watching me. Anytime I was alone, it felt like something was there. And I get chills speaking about this because we get to the part of the story that really freaks me out. And I think that they're tied together. So, towards the very end of my time, I'd say about 2 weeks before I left the store, I was actually promoted to key holder, which is basically wardrobe consultant with some managerial responsibilities. And like I said, for the next couple days and weeks following the meeting with the guy who I can best describe as an energy vampire. I continually felt unsettled in the store, and every time I was alone, I felt like there were things watching me. It was really creepy. And then one night, as I'm being trained to close, let me preface this by saying earlier in the day, we had rearranged different sections of the store, put out new merchandise, kind of rearranged the racks, and we're at the end of the day. All the customers are gone, the doors are locked, we're getting ready to count the drawer, and my manager, let's call him Adam, he's teaching me how to count the drawers when all of a sudden, and man, I'm really getting chills right now, all of a sudden we hear like a squealing noise, like a metallic rack, like somebody is moving the racks. And him and I, we freeze and we look at each other and we're like, did you hear that? And he was like, yeah. And we both are kind of like looking at each other. He's like, I'm gonna go check it out. So he leaves and he starts walking towards the front of the store where the noise was. And right as he leaves, man, I'm tearing up. I look up at the security camera and man, I'm really feeling it. As I look up at this camera, I look at the section that we think the noise came from, the athletic wear, and there is a shadow just staring at the camera. And as soon as I saw it, it was gone. But I was freaked out. And Adam, man, he came back. He came back and he didn't see anything. And I was like, dude, I just saw something on the camera. Like, there was a shadow looking right at me through the camera. And yeah, I was freaked out. And that whole day, or that whole night, I just kind of like prayed protection over myself. And I got home and things were normal. I never saw that shadow again in my time there. And after I saw the shadow, I stopped feeling like I was being watched in the store. It was weird. I never, ever encountered anything like that before. And I think that the two incidences with the energy vampire and the shadow were connected somehow. And I think that they were targeting me for something I don't even know at the time. Like I said, I was new to the spiritual stuff. So it was very, very weird to me that this happened. But yeah, that is how my encounter with a energy vampire went. And then the aftermath, which still one of the craziest experiences, most paranormal things I ever experienced in my life. And I'm kind of glad I'm gone. But that whole mall was demolished. That store has relocated to a new location. I don't know how it was. I didn't stick around too much longer after that. I think I was literally gone like in the next week or two because I had gotten a better job. So yeah, very kind of spooky, very weird encounter. But let me know what you guys think. What do you think the energy vampire was trying to do? Or what do you think that whole experience was? Did somebody try to place a curse on me or something like that? I don't know. And I'm just curious to know because I know a lot of people out there are really fascinated with the supernatural. So if any of you guys have any idea of what could have been taking place at that time, please let me know. I'd love to know more about it. And this wasn't the only weird experience that I had as I was awakening to the supernatural. There are plenty of other stories I can share. You guys let me know if you want to hear more. But yeah, this is probably one of the craziest. So hope you guys enjoyed this story. If you did enjoy it, please drop a like. Definitely helps me out. Definitely leave a comment. Like I said before, it could be any type of comment. You can either tell me what you think that they were doing or comment something that you enjoyed from the story, maybe something you found interesting. And of course, the other way that you can help me grow is to subscribe to the channel. Every subscription helps and helps me continue to make this dream a reality. So thank you guys for watching my videos. Thank you for supporting me as a creator. And yeah, I guess until the next video, guys, let me know what you want to hear, and I'll see you then.